Hi, welcome to Mommas and Mannies. I'm your host Trina. This is a short form podcast for mamas that are looking for a quick burst of me time. We're a weekly podcast bringing self care right to you directly. Before you listen anymore, please like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share this with another mama that needs a quick burst of me time. As usual, we start the show off with a motivational quote or a mantra. This quote is actually going to be one that is used. I'm sure you've heard it before. If not, it's definitely a great quote to think about throughout the day, throughout the week, especially dealing with kids. And the quote, it's not really, I guess it's more of a saying. Be a thermostat today and not a thermometer. And if you sit and think about it, a thermostat, you actually adjust the temperature up and down but you control that temperature. But you control it according to what the environment is around you. A thermometer actually increases or decreases with the environment. So the thermometer is affected by the environment it's in. The thermostat has that ability to actually change or set the temperature or set the environment for where they're at. So in short, that's basically telling you you set the mood, the tone, the temperature, the environment of where you're at right now. So for me, what I've been doing recently, at bedtime, we try to put the girls down at about 7 after they've eaten dinner, had everything, watched a little bit of TV. Then we try to get them ready for bed. But at 7 o'clock, especially by 7:30, I'm ready for them to be in the bed like at 6:15. But I know that's too early for them to get into bed. So they're not waking up early, or I'm sure or just sitting in the bed for no reason or something like that in the morning. So what I've done the last few days is really to become that thermostat. For some reason, it's like when you say it's bedtime, they want to go up to their room, jump around, sing a song. Even though downstairs they were quiet watching TV. And of course, if you have toddlers, now they want water, they want dinner. It's like, you had all that time to do that while we were downstairs. Why are you coming upstairs? Now you gotta run, jump, sing, dance. It's like, let's calm down. Let's quiet down and get ready for bed. So I'm trying to really set that temperature, set that environment, instead of me yelling and saying, hey, y'all stop all that and don't do this and don't do that. Really just saying it's bedtime, it's quiet time, let's cool down, let's relax, and really showing them the example of actually being quiet, calm, patient, getting ready, getting your mind, getting your body ready to actually go to bed. Instead of being all wound up trying to get into bed, now it's going to take you an extra 30 minutes to fall asleep. I have one daughter that's like me and that can fall asleep just when your head hits the pillow. And then I have another daughter that really needs to have that time to unwind, and it takes her a little bit longer to go to sleep. So really just trying to start that when they get upstairs. So just remember to be the thermostat today, and you set the temperature of your environment. So guess what time it is? It's mama time. This week's mama time is going to be something that I think everyone needs to do, and you probably need to do it with every transition in your life. I've done personality tests, so the mama time is going to be taking a personality test. I've done personality tests several times throughout my life. I think I did my first one in high school. Like when I was with the organization, I was a peer mediator, so I probably did it with that. But definitely, I know I did it in college. I was like a visitor tour when big groups or when people would come, like incoming freshmen, I was in a group that actually showed the freshmen around. I did that for 1 year. So I know we did one then. And then I think I did one with my sorority when I became the chapter president when I was in college. So I've done it, and I've done it, I know for a fact, on one of my jobs, just to have a better grip around communication. But each time I would say that the personality, and depending on which one you do, is so many, my personality has come out different. And especially after having kids, it's definitely different now. I'm still, like, for some of the stuff, my core beliefs are still about the same. But when I was working at a particular job, then I was trying to see what other. I think the one I'm going to mention actually has quite a few. Hold on. But when I was working at the particular job when I first got out of college, they did the DISC assessment. And for some reason, I feel like this one does have the DISC assessment. Here we go. Yes, it does. So I'll be able to read off this. And with the DISC assessment, I was not the dominant one, but the one right after that. I can't remember what exactly it is because it's been a while since I've taken the DISC assessment. But more of that driven person that's really goal oriented, really focused on work and things like that. And just over time, especially after having kids, that has changed dramatically. I still love working my job, but my goal is not to be a supervisor, not to be the leader. I don't want people coming to ask me questions, actually, at all. I don't like that at all. And I was a manager then. I left because I was like, I don't like being a manager. And then I was like, well, maybe, it was that particular environment. It was that company. Maybe I'll like it different. Maybe I'll feel a little bit differently now that I'm actually working in a career that's more aligned to what I actually like doing. But it's still the same thing. I'm just not that person that likes to be the leader. Love doing stuff, love doing the right thing, love going to work, but just being that leader is not what I'm looking for. So the personality test, I use the Trudy. And I don't know if this is how it's pronounced, but it's TRUITY. It's Trudy.com. They have several personality tests, several quizzes that you can take. Just a few of the tests that they do have. They have an Enneagram personality test. That's actually the one I took. They have the Big Five personality test, 16 types personality test. I'm not familiar with the 16 types in the Big Five. The DISC personality test that I've talked about, I know that one's used a lot, definitely in corporate environments. The career aptitude test, the 7 love styles test for the workplace, and those are the personality tests they have, the personal ones. Then they have other tests and quizzes that aren't listed. They have businesses personality library. Oh, it's just some resources for you. And it tells you actually what the Big Five is. I'm not going to read that. But I decided to do the Enneagram personality test because I'm in a group where people kept talking about that. And I was like, what is an Enneagram? What is that? When they introduced themselves, they were like, I'm a 9, I'm a 7. And I'm like, what is that? So I actually did the test back in October. As the test states, is accurate, insightful, as far as a personality test, and it is. So some of the stuff I'm still the same. I came up as an Enneagram 5. So if you're an Enneagram 5, if you take the personality test, on the link for our YouTube channel as well as Spotify and on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts, I will have the website for Trudy, TRUIT.com. So you'll be able to go there. This one does have a small cost associated with it. I'm sure you can Google to see, like, Google personality tests, or if you want to use the DISC test, or if you're in an environment where they use the Enneagram personality test, you can definitely do that too. So a 5 is the investigator. It says some of the traits I have are insightful, reserved, independent, stoic, and knowledgeable. And I think if you know me, that is a really good description of me. When I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, that really hit it on the head. And what it does, I think the group I'm in, maybe they did it. It's a church group, a religious group that I'm in. And I think they did it more of like a communication type thing within your small group within the church. But it gives you your main enneagram, then it also gives you other enneagrams that you're close to. So it gives you like this chart. I don't know if you're able to see it, but it gives you a chart like where you scored the most, then your second and your third types that are really matched to you. It tells you body types. It says body types are driven by instinct and are turned into their five senses as a primary means of gathering information. Then it gives you head types. It says head types are driven by intellect and tend to analyze and rationalize their emotion. Oh, maybe that's something else. Maybe that's talking about me. I'm reading that all wrong. I'm saying that, but I don't know. And then it also basically wraps you up in a nutshell. It gives you your strengths, your challenges, your core weaknesses. It also gives you your core belief, your core fear, your core desire, your core traits. Talks about your emotional life. Just trying to see childhood origins. It actually gives you a lot. It talks about how you will, how you may interact in a relationship, the good, the bad, that's dealing with your relationship, how you interact with people at work. Also, the spectrum of health. And it tells you what traits you actually thrive on. It gives a lot of information, so I definitely recommend this one. Just too, because this particular website where it gives you so many options for taking a personality test. And the biggest thing, I wanted to be able to see where I was at now after having 2 kids. I'm working in a career that I want to be in. I've been married for a while. So just to see how I've changed over that time from when I took that DISC assessment several years ago. That probably was like in 2008 is 2023 right now. That's a long time ago, and a lot of things have changed. So just to see what my personality was like now. And two, I know some tests they do if your kids are old enough, like the love languages, they also have some other tests that are geared towards kids if your kids are older. And with some stuff, I think with the love languages, you could read the question out to your child and give them the answer. But your kids are going to have to be a little bit older so they can kind of work through, like if you ask them a question like, what is your favorite way to spend the Saturday night? Is it to spend time with your family, to spend time with your friends, or is it like to spend time in your room? My 5-year-old is not going to be able to answer that. But if you have a 10-year-old, they definitely should be able to answer that, because they'll know they have their group of friends they like to hang out with. At 10, I'm trying to think, I think you may still want to spend time with your family. Definitely at 16, you don't. Unless you've grew up in that particular environment. So I think the personality tests are good for you as a mama, so you can step back and kind of see yourself from a different view. And then ask your partner, hey, does this sound like me? Or, is it somewhere in the ballpark of how I act? And sometimes, depending on your personality, you may not want to believe that. You may be like, no, this doesn't sound like me. But so that's why it's good to step outside yourself and ask someone else, hey, does this actually fit my personality from what you see of me and interact with me on a regular basis? So comment below. Let us know if you've taken a personality test recently. or if it's been a while since you've taken one, and let us know which one you've taken. If you're comfortable with sharing what you are, like your Enneagram, what you are on your DISC assessment. I forgot one time when we were in a church, we actually took, and I think the career assessment probably would be the closest thing to this on this Trudy website, but it kind of helped us understand where we would be most fitted for serving in that particular church that we were once a part of. So, if you're looking for something, if you're trying to figure out what's my purpose in life, what's my passion, I definitely think a personality test would be good for you, especially after having kids. I know a lot of times we feel like we've lost ourselves. It's kind of like, what do I like? What don't I like? So really taking a personality test will kind of help you think about some things within yourself. So if you're an early riser, try to take the personality test right when you wake up. If you're a night owl, try to take it once everyone is asleep and you have some time to yourself. Or if you can catch some time on your lunch break or throughout the day, you can definitely take the test. But you definitely want to give yourself, I think this one took about 45 minutes to an hour to really think through those questions and see where you stand. So again, comment below, let us know if you've taken a personality test, what your results ended up like, if you're going to do it with your kids. I'm really interested in knowing that, because I would love to see what age is a good age to actually give your child a personality test, because kids evolve too. Your 5-year-old is not going to be the same when she's 10, 15, and when they're getting ready to go off to college. So please share again this with a mama that needs to know what her personality is. Don't be afraid to go over to our YouTube channel so you can see what I look like. I don't have anything to show today. Usually if I'm doing some self-care things like doing something with my nails or my face or something like that, you'll be able to see that. Check us out on Spotify. Please subscribe to the channel. And as always, remember, me time is essential and it's never selfish. Have a great week, mama.